hell's that?
That's Jamie calling me. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how are you? I can't turn on my microphone, Andy.
Well,
I don't know. It's like it came up that it
We
was
can hear
off.
you.
So I clicked on and I thought for sure I was in, but I'm not.
does anybody know how to help him?
There he is.
All right, I'll just hold this.
I got him too.
Click the.
Am I good? Oh, yeah. Is that how we're going to do it? I'll talk like this and you just go ahead.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, like I said, I don't know. Josh, do you know how to turn your microphone on this?
Well, your mic's on. I think it's your speakers.
We can hear you. You can tell
You're
him.
hearing him through my phone.
How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to hang up on you.
Through the phone.
No, I can hear you.
No, we can hear you before that.
We can hear him through here.
Okay. Why did somebody say?
We did the whole time.
So you can hear me now?
Yes, the whole time.
Oh, go away. Well, I didn't know that. I got a new computer and I was trying to get it rigged up.
Manson, it's not always like this.
No, I'm sorry, man. I haven't been on in a while. I'm kind of rookie again. All right, I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Maybe it is always kind of like this. I don't know.
Good, buddy. You?
Good. Andy Mason, Josh,
Up,
Good.
how's
guys?
everybody's evening?
Oh shit! Happy New Year's as well.
Yeah.
We're back
Happy
at
New
it.
Year, everyone.
Took a little New Year's break.
Yeah.
A
Back
little
at
bit
it.
hiatus.
2025.
Yeah. Awesome. So okay, guys. Before we get going, I just want to say welcome to Bodybuilders Amateur Hour, Mason. It's been many months of trying to get you on here.
I'm the worst with timing too. I'll be like, yeah, I'll get back to you tomorrow. And tomorrow's like 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's like, oh man. I was like, what did I do? Did I say anything? It's like, no.
That's just
I keep bugging
literally,
them?
that's my life.
Yeah.
People know if you text me and you don't call, it's like 50-50 if you're going to get an answer.
Well, at least I feel better. It's not me. So thanks. Cool.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah. Before we get rolling, before we get rolling, I always forget to do this, but we'll do it now. So everyone that's on, before we go, I just want to remind everyone to like, subscribe, share, and comment below. We need lots of questions for our next upcoming episodes for all of us. Anything goes. Ask us anything, especially Jamie. He'll tell you.
Yeah, I'll answer anything.
Anything. Yeah, so like, subscribe, share, ring that bell button. Right, Jamie? There you go, buddy. There you go. Feels good. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It feels real good.
Yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, welcome, Anton. We've been really excited to talk to you. We've been looking forward to this for a while. So we want a big shout out to and a congratulations to you for winning your pro card not too long ago. It's something I think we've all seen coming. So it wasn't a huge shock. We're like, oh my God, I can't believe you did it. And you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So
That means a lot, actually, hearing that. That's dope.
So yeah.
Yeah, because you won numerous overall titles before that, right? You won 6 days before. I think you won Nova Scotia overall, right? I think.
I won, like
a week before.
Nova Scotia overall. And
Yeah,
I think
you won Atlantics. I remember seeing you at Atlantics.
Yep, 2022. I won that Atlantics.
Yeah,
and then I went to Vancouver, and that was my worst placing ever in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Really?
And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a year. Ended up being 2, and I came back.
And just started cleaning house, yeah.
Yeah.
And now I got
so that was your second national show. On your second national show, you turned pro.
Yeah. Third national. Because I went to nationals in 2021 as well, I believe. Which was like, I think my second show altogether.
Oh, and second was nationals. Good for you. Jesus.
And I was way too small, man. I didn't know what they wanted yet. I could hardly pose. And the guy that beat me there got his pro card the following show. Like, he beat me in our class, and then someone else beat him in overall. But then he went to the States like 2 weeks later and got his pro card. So I was like, oh, I don't feel so bad.
That's not
I
so
lost
bad.
to someone that earned the pro card like 2 weeks later. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, we could see the potential right from the first.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I think from as soon as you stepped on stage for the first time, we're like, oh, this guy's gonna be something. So, and you are, and you did it. So
yeah,
you did it.
I got it on a higher level, and yeah, nerve wracking.
Yeah. So when you lost, you said you went in and you had your worst placing at the nationals ever at any show. What was that like? Was that like a depressing thing? Was it, or that like some fire under you? You're like, I'm gonna be better. Like,
honestly, it was like immediately relieving.
Oh, interesting.
But I felt so much pressure. Everyone's always like, "Oh, you're gonna get your pro card. You have a dope physique. No one's gonna be able to like stand next to you." But it's just a lot of pressure, especially when you're like my second show or like second or third. Maybe that was my fourth. Yeah, but like you're not used to being on stage. Like you're still learning the sport. You're still like figuring it out, and then everyone's giving you all this pressure, and then you go there thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be a walk in the park, and then you realize, oh, this is what everyone's talking about when they say it's the long game.
It's the long game.
Yeah, they gave me an excuse to take a step back.
Yeah.
Which I needed. I needed that because a couple of years before, I was like, 3 years before, I had no summer. I was prepping every summer, and I was like, that gave me an excuse. I was like, you know what? I'm taking a break the rest of the summer. I'm going to take next year off. I'm going to spend it with the kids. I needed it. I didn't realize I needed it, but I think the loss pushed me to like take it, and then I realized throughout the year, okay, I need this.
Nice.
When did you start competing, Mason? What year?
My first show was 2020.
2020. Wow.
It was supposed to be 2019. It was supposed to be 2019. I can't remember what happened. Didn't happen. And then it was supposed to be April 2020, and then the world shut down.
Yeah.
It ended up being October, like the New Brunswick Championships or whatever it was called. The one that it ended up being the same. We got there Friday. It was supposed to be Saturday, but they were putting the Brunswick, so it ended up being the same day.
That one messed everybody up, and we're all
it was
separated backstage.
It was crazy. It was nuts. Like, I had like probably like almost 1,000 grams of freaking rice in me. Like, still carving up. I'm like, oh, show's an hour and a half. I'm like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I'm in the hotel room on the toilet for an hour and a half, just sitting there waiting for something to happen. Nothing happened. Couldn't control my stomach on stage at all. Not to mention I wasn't good at posing yet. So.
Oh, yeah. Right, right. You're just
Yeah, it was nerve wracking. That was the best possible scenario for a first show. Because like anything after that was like, oh, okay, I got this.
Everything else was way better, easier, right? You got
exactly.
Probably the worst show ever out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
No fault of anybody's. It's just kind of how.
No, right? We had to roll with the punches. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. And then from there, you took the 2 years off, and like, what was life like? What was training like? Like during those, was it all focused on getting bigger? Was it focused on life and training? How did you balance that?
Honestly, I didn't really focus on getting bigger until I took the 2 years off. It was like, that's when I started to like really focus on forcing the food in and almost not relying on the foundation I built and genetics. It actually started being like, okay, if I want to win, I got to actually be competitive. And I also started doing a lot more coaching, which put me in a position to actually lead by example, right? So,
oh yeah, nice.
2 years after Atlantics in Vancouver, that's when I really locked in and decided, okay, I'm going to go for this. And I gave myself till 40, right? I'm 36. So I was 34. I was like, yeah, got 6 years to make it happen or figure something else out, right? So I really locked in. But after my first show, I was so like in love with the sport that like, it's just the training and everything was just enough, but I never had no real goals because I never really did an off season. I'd get a coach for prep, and I'd do my off season myself. I wouldn't really work with anyone, and I kind of wing it.
Yeah. And you found a
Then
coach during the off season helped a lot?
So the 2 years I took off, I did the first say year kind of myself, and then I was okay. I'm growing, but it was just too monotonous. So I hired Rowan actually, growing for 6 months, and that was probably the most growth. That was probably the most growth I've ever made in the off season when working with him for those 6 months. And then I went back on my own for 6 months while I figured out a show, and then found my current coach, who's Matt Coates. And yeah, rest is history.
Matt, how do you like Matt? I've heard good things.
I love working with him. Honestly, it's like the perfect match. We have a lot of the same principles around training for sure. And another thing that a lot of coaches don't take into consideration is ethnicity. Like I'm a black man, so having someone that understands genetically what our body goes through when we diet and stuff like that, it was big for me because I'd always have crazy water retention, which is like we're prone to things like that. But I never had someone that like really knew how to handle that, right?
Interesting.
Minus my first coach. Well, Johnny was my first coach, but minus my first coach that I did competition with, Ludacris. When I was with Ludacris for my first nationals, he had a good handle on it. Obviously, all the experience, but I've never really had anyone else that I was confident if something comes up like that, they'd understand this. So going with someone who is also black and has the same issues happen, it's like it kind of felt relieving because I'm like when I get in those last month of prep and my body starts holding water and like all the typical things aren't working and my blood pressure is up or something like that. I want someone that it just makes me more comfortable because we both go through the same type of shit, right?
Yeah, for sure. And what would you have done differently than the other coaches have you done with like with water retention?
Well, this time around I never had it happen, but so
I
don't know what we done differently. But the main thing that we did different this time around, where it didn't, it's probably the first prep where I didn't have a lot of water retention and shit like that. We did like food stayed very high, cardio stayed very low, and supplements were like low.
Nice.
Probably lower than
that's a big portion.
Probably lower than I've ever done. Period.
Yeah. I'm sure you felt amazing too off of that.
I did. I felt great.
Yeah. That seems to be the thing now, the new thing, lower in the supplements because it doesn't stress the body as much. People were going nuts for a while, and it just stresses your
cortisol
body, and
levels
then
were up.
you're going to hold water retention then, right?
And like water retention happens, and
yeah, it does, and that's what happened. That's what was happening before. Like it was like, oh, this is happening. Things would happen, and coaches would be like, just throw more at me, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
That does seem to be the thing now. Guys are like doing less, more frequent. Yeah. They're doing less more frequently, and that seems a new thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I
noticed that too.
When I had my best look last year, that's what I was doing, and it was amazing. Just even mentally, everything was working better. I found.
Yeah, I don't think I've had sleep trouble at all. My last prep, like for nationals, which was crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. I got good sleeps every night. I was like, what? I played in my head though because I was like, something's wrong.
Right.
I shouldn't feel this good this close. Like it played in my head for like 2 months. The last 2 months, I was like, something's wrong. He was like, stop stressing because that's what's gonna be wrong. I was like,
yeah.
You just felt like it wasn't the same. Something had to be wrong.
I'm used to like everything. You feel like crap, but you're still going. Like that's what drives us, right?
Right. The feeling of suffering. I'm pushing through it. I'm like, this is the part of it. This is what nobody else can take, and we're doing it. Exactly. Right. It shouldn't feel like
really weird. At the same time, it's the first time that the rest of my life was aligned too. First time I prepped with the rest of my life aligned, so that played a big part.
That also, that's a major. I always tell people that going into a show is like you have to have that. Make sure like your life is set up for the next, next 6 months to make sure everything is good. You don't want any life. You can't have much life stressors or everything's. You're gonna have surprises along the way, but you can't do anything about it.
I have my fair share of surprises.
But if you kind of have things lined up, you'll be fine.
Man, yeah, during that prep, I ended up getting evicted from a place.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so I fought it, but then I thought I had a month. I got a note that said I needed to be out 72 hours. So I had to put all my
Jesus.
stuff in storage a week before we moved in here. I had to put all my stuff in storage so I could take it out the following week to move in here. That was like a month out.
Oh
Wow.
Yeah,
man, and I'm sure that's a lot of work and that's a lot of stress by itself.
but
Yeah.
it's weird. I thought like when it first happened, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna ruin my prep." But
No,
no, it was
No.
smooth. It was still
Good.
smooth. Surprisingly.
It's
kind of
not a
kept.
prep without those surprises thrown in.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always something comes up.
There's
Yeah.
always something. You'll find something.
Yeah.
Even if there isn't, you'll find
Life always throws a little bit of a challenge along the
Yeah.
way. Things are
it. Made
going
us that
too
much
good.
sweeter though.
Mm. Do you have anything in mind? Do you have any shows in mind for your pro debut?
So I actually have the tab up on my computer right now. I haven't picked anything yet, but I know it's going to be mid second quarter, like 2026.
Okay.
Taking 2025 off.
Taking some time off, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna really try to refine my physique for like the pros, and I gotta get a gyno surgery. I don't want to get on the pro stage with that.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at some of my pictures from nationals, you can see it. Like at the end when they're telling me to hold the pro card up, I'm like, they're like higher. I'm like, they're like higher.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I remember that hitting front double buys, and you got that.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's all you're thinking about. No one else is probably noticing it. It's all you're thinking about.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna get that taken care of, and then something close to the beginning of the summer, 2026. I'm thinking.
Nice.
Cool. Do you mind if we dive into that for a second? Because I know
let's
that's
go.
a lot of that's pretty common in the sport, and I know a lot of people are either A, scared of it or have it and don't know what to do with it. Was that something like that developed during your career? Does that sometimes people develop them, guys develop them when they're
Yeah.
teenagers, and they just constantly have it, and it just is a thing that grows over time, especially with
So
supplement use.
Mine developed probably during my first. It started around my like first prep, like the first one that I actually ended up finishing for that New Brunswick show, and then it got bad during Atlantic's prep, and that since then it was just like I knew okay, it has to get fixed. There was no way around
Right.
it. Like even when I did my first nationals, Chris Ludacris, he told me he was like, "You probably should get that fixed. It's gonna get worse." And I was like, I managed it for the next year, and then did Atlantics, and I was like, "Oh shoot." After Atlantics, I was like, "This is bad." Like my plan wasn't even to compete again until I got it fixed. But I was like, well, to be transparent, I'm not spending thousands of dollars to possibly go pro. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go for it, and if I get it, then I'll get it fixed, right? But like,
Mhm.
eventually, I would have had to get it fixed anyways. But I wasn't rushing to throw thousands of dollars at it.
So
Well, it
like,
worked out.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it couldn't. It's not that bad to cause you not to get a pro card. So
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
go, right?
And that's the good thing about men's physique, the posing. You can hide
Right.
it really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I would have went out to classic or something, there was no way that I would have been able to hide it, right? Like it sucks, and it
Yeah,
sucks because
sure.
I have a decently developed chest, but like
Yeah, you do.
go up,
Right.
game over.
Yeah.
Right. So looking back, do you think there's anything that could have been done in the past to prevent or slow that down that you may have missed?
Um,
So I'm just asking this for people that might be in
yeah,
that situation that's coming up,
honestly,
or that are some people are really scared of it, and that's why they don't go to the dark
don't
side.
don't think more gear means more gains right out the gate.
Hmm.
If your training, your sleep, your food, everything else isn't on point, don't try to just throw gear at your growth. It's not going to work. And that's and like don't try to do the fun supplements like the trend and things like that because it's fun and that's what you want to do when you don't need it, right?
Yeah.
Save it for that's what I did my first 2 years of I was 29 when I first started, right? So my first 29 to like 31, I was like weird ass cycles because I didn't know much and I was doing pretty much trying for almost every cycle and
Good God.
yeah. And then I was like, oh, I learned and I was like, oh, okay. maybe you should just apply the stuff you've been reading for the last 10 years instead of just being excited and an idiot. Right? So yeah, that's what did it. And that's what I say to anybody, man. Just, it's a marathon, it's not a race. Mm-hmm. Don't go crazy. And as soon as you know the signs, do what you got to do to mitigate them.
Right.
Don't just try to fight through like, oh, it's all. My thing was, I said it's already there now. I'm gonna have to get the surgery eventually, and I did let it get worse.
So just kept going. So either way, no matter how small or big it is, you still need the surgery, and it would be like the same thing. So just
that's what I did. I mean, I could have kept it small, and like maybe I wouldn't need it as bad now, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mace, how long you've been training? When did you start? A while.
I've been training since I was 12. I remember I went to Waterville because my brother was in Waterville Convention Center, and he had a powerlifting meet. I was like 11 or 12.
Cool.
I went home, drug his weights out from like behind the furnace and stuff, and been working out since.
So that your brother was the catalyst, like the starter of.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
He did his powerlifting thing, and he only did the powerlifting thing for like those years. Like he never powerlifted it again. But I was already like obsessed. I was already obsessed with like wrestling and stuff. I thought I was going to grow up and be a wrestler, like we all did.
Yeah, I think we all might have done that.
But then I just switched it switched to lifting weights, and then I started buying magazines. And he was powerlifting, so I was like wanted to be a powerlifter, but you can only buy like bodybuilding magazines. So I started buying the bodybuilding magazines, and then I was like, oh, this is better.
Yeah.
I used to tell my mom I needed lunch money, but then I'd wake up early and make my lunch so I could use the lunch money to buy magazines, buy the bodybuilding magazines.
I love that.
Nice. Muscular development was a good one. Remember that one?
Yeah.
What was that?
Muscular development.
I have a bunch of like. One day I went into Good Life and someone said free, and there was like a bunch of old like Flex magazines and stuff. I got like 8 of them here. I don't know where they are.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So did you notice your physique grew quite fast as he started? You noticed some gains? Did you notice some good gains coming right out of the gate? I mean, after you turned 14, 15, 16, maybe?
Man, no. I got shredded, and like I just looked like a freaking normal fit black guy up until like 26.
Really?
Like when I was younger, I say maybe 14 to like 17, I put on some size. And you could tell that I was the guy of my friends that worked out, but it wasn't nothing crazy. And then from like 18 to 24, I drank every night. So
that didn't
I was still going to the gym. I was still going to the gym consistently, but like I didn't really progress. I was like pretty much looked like an 18-year-old until I was like 24, and then started to slow down on the drinking, take fitness serious again, and then actually 24 I actually got incarcerated. That's what made me slow down on the drinking. So I was in there for just like a month short of a year, and I started working out, and no one in there knew how to work out, so I would help guys work out and stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna do this when I get out.
Like become a trainer.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And that's when I put on most of my man, I went in 140. I came home like 195.
Really?
Yeah.
Off of the food that they have there, eh? You.
It might have even been more than 195. That's when I weighed myself. I was out a few weeks before I weighed myself.
Would you contribute that to just like the amount of training, or like what, like the nutrition?
All I did is eat, train, and sleep. Literally, that's all I had time to do. And if I wasn't sleeping or eating or training, I was laying on my bunk reading. So I was just eating and laying down, eating, training, and laying down.
That part
How were you able to get
bad.
the food in? How were you able to get like the meals in?
So
do they feed you quite a bit? Or
where I was in Antigonish. So before they got small in the jail, before they closed it down, the food they gave us was like we get like trays, like a regular like food tray with like taters that would pile over like this. So I'd like from my meal, I was making like 2 meals. Like they were feeding us a lot. Like that's the only place I think in Nova Scotia where you got a lot of food. And then they closed it down like a few months after I got out of there.
Probably because of the food budget that you were eating.
Yeah. Right. It was really small though. I mean, it had to be like 50 guys max in there. It was like it was probably the smallest one here, so they probably had to close it down.
Fair. Yeah.
It was a blessing though.
That kind of
it reminded me why that I forgot that I loved working out because I was partying so much and living how I was living, right? So when I went in there and I started working out again, I was like, oh yeah, I used to love this.
Oh, interesting. Right. So you like pretty much
Like,
became sober in there, training, then like showing your worth, like helping people. Like,
mm-hmm.
yeah, and that set your whole career off pretty much. I would
Yeah, literally
sounds
saved
like
my
it
life.
anyways.
It's funny how that happens. Like the dark times lead to like this now, where
Yeah,
you're at now.
it is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, you look back and like, would I be here without that? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of
Mm.
stuff in life.
Sure. I'm not sure. Personally, I know I probably wouldn't be, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like taking a loss, right? In
Yeah.
bodybuilding, you come back the
Exactly.
next show and you win, you dominate, right?
Mhm.
That's how my career went, anyways.
It's lessons. If you don't learn from your lessons, then you're gonna always be given them,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, just you fall into a cycle and then
Yeah.
spin
Exactly.
around. Yeah, uh, crazy. So, like, going into your pro show there, Mason, what like the one that you sorry, the one that you won your pro card in? Were you going in confident? What was that like backstage? When were you going in just like I'm just gonna do this and see what happens?
It
Or
was.
sometimes
Because
people
that's
pump
after
the
you had 2 years off, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you knew you made significant gains, so you must have
Yeah.
been
I
looking quite confident.
honestly, I was. I didn't go in. I don't know if I want to say I went in confident, but I went into Halifax the week before extremely confident, and then I wasn't going to go to Ontario.
Oh,
I was
interesting.
going to wait and go to Toronto coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Oh, okay.
uh, who was it? I think it was Paul. It was like, you got to do it.
Hmm.
He's like, you got to do it. I mean, if it's finances, even if you got to stay with me in Chelsea when you're there, you got to do it. And he's like,
Oh, that Paul. Okay, yeah.
yeah, he was like, you'd be dumb not to. He's like, if you lose, you lose, but swing, take every chance you get to swing. And I was like, you know what, you're right. So I booked my flight and I went, and I think I was confident, but it wasn't so much that I was like, I'm gonna go win this. It was more like I'm gonna be in the moment because this is
Mhm.
why I'm here right now, and I felt so good through my prep because I spent the last 2 years working on being in the moment. I spent the last 2 years trying to like not overthink things and like be in the moment with my family, and I'm like, I'm just gonna be in the moment here, and I'm just gonna enjoy it, right? So I was backstage talking to all the other competitors, getting to know people, and then there was like time to go on stage, and I was like, oh okay, and it just kind of good thing Johnny was back there because I wasn't even pumping up. I would like I would do a couple things, and I'd be like, I was like I'd like do a couple curls, do a couple laterals, and I'm like, I don't want to
Yeah.
burn myself out. And then he comes over, he's like, no, do this. He was like, pretty much stayed with me backstage and made sure I pumped up and
And
like,
you're talking to Johnny Shreve?
yeah,
Yeah,
he
okay,
went
cool.
over my posing with me before I went on stage and stuff. So he was a big part of it. I think that's why I wasn't nervous or anything. I don't want to say I was confident because I didn't know what to expect, but I
Jesus.
wasn't nervous.
I always found I was confident until I get backstage and see everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I look like shit backstage, and everyone else looks amazing. Even if I
Yes.
win the show, I can win the whole show, but I'm backstage, and everyone looks awesome, and I look down, and I'm like, I look like shit.
You're like, how
I
did
was
I
probably the
win?
last person to take my like sweater and stuff off backstage. I'm looking at guys
Yeah,
starting to get tanned up and stuff, and I'm like, you guys are huge. You guys are
yeah,
huge. And then I took my sweater off, and guys were like, oh, you're freaking huge. I was like, you know what?
yeah,
Like,
You're like,
it's
no.
like leading up to the show, I thought I was huge until I get backstage. I don't think I'm huge anymore.
yeah. That's exactly how I get.
That's funny.
Um, yeah, it wasn't. I wasn't. I wouldn't say I was confident, but I wasn't nervous either. It was almost. I was in the moment for sure.
Cool.
I was
Yeah.
definitely in the moment.
And then going into it when you were like they're calling out the placings. Do you remember what was going through your mind at the time when they were going through like, fourth, third, and called out you?
So I did open and I did Masters 35. In the open class A, I think it was. I knew I I went before. I think I went before that. I think and I won them on Masters.
Yeah, usually Masters first. Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew I wasn't going to win the Open. And I was sponsored by BioX. One of our other athletes was in that class as well. So I was there, and I was just hoping for second because I wanted him to come to the I wanted him to go to the overall, right? Because I was like, okay, I'm going to get it in Masters. I know I'm gonna win it in 35 plus. So I wanted. So in the Open A, I wasn't really too nervous or thinking or like worried about winning at all. I was just kind of like enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
In the Masters overall, I didn't know what to expect because like the guy I was against is like freaking over a foot taller than me.
Wow, yeah.
And I'm like, damn, are they gonna give it to him because he's like lankier and like fits the men's physique, and I'm like short and stubby. So I'm like, oh man, I got this gyno. So I was like, all I can do is stay in my pose and just look better on stage the whole time, right? And I mean, overall, I had a better physique, but it's just so hit or miss with men's physique. You never know, right?
So you just don't know what they're looking for, right? Like you said earlier, like one time they're looking for bigger arms, the other time they're looking for smaller. Like the waist, it's all very proportionate and like it's all over the place.
And I have this thing where I don't know if you've noticed it. When I'm leading up to a show and I'm like posing and I'm posting my pictures, I have crazy stomach control, but I've never been able to control my stomach on stage the way I can when I'm not on stage ever.
Do you think it's like
does that happen to any of you guys?
Carbs?
Like I've never been able to control my stomach on stage the way I want to. So I see my pictures after and I'm like, I could have held that tighter every time.
Yes.
Do you think it's like a mental block, or do you think it's like a physical thing that's where
like
sometimes you're so depleted?
Yeah,
it could be the carving up, honestly.
And then with all the extra carbs.
I know in Vancouver it was the carving up when I did the Vancouver show. I know that for sure. But this time we kept it pretty light. We kept it pretty moderate. So I was like, honestly, maybe a nerves thing to be honest. Just the underlying nerves you don't realize are there.
Yeah.
How
tall are you? How tall are you, Mason? How tall are you? 5'7"?
5'7". Yeah.
What do you weigh at 5'7"? I know it doesn't matter in men's physique, but what were you?
On stage I was around like 190, 188 ish.
Wow.
My new cap is 192 or 194.
Wow.
I'm 202 right now.
Damn.
That's a big boy. Big boy.
Trying to goal right now is to get to 220 by like probably like just as fall starts. Try to get around 220 slowly, and then come down about 10 pounds, and then ease into prep.
Yeah.
So want to start prep around that 210 mark so that I can like drop that 16 during prep, and then kind of go into the show still kind of big.
Any body parts you plan on like working on, like really focusing on to bring up for your pro debut?
My abdomen.
Yeah.
I have ever since like 2022. I haven't been able to directly train abs like a full workout or like more than like 3 sets at a time. It just spasms.
You get cramps?
Yeah, crazy cramps every time.
Why does that? I get my ab cramps like at the top two, like one or the other will like just go, and
mine's the bottom two, one or the other, and it just pops out almost.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been trying to figure out what it is. I have no idea. I thought it was like my electrolyte balance was off, magnesium. No idea.
Andy, why does that happen?
Abs fasted in the morning.
Yeah, Andy, you had hernia surgery. Did yours cramp before that, Andy?
What's that?
You had hernia surgery.
Yeah.
Did yours used to cramp a lot before that? Or is it any better now?
Yeah, I've had that, but it's usually just when I'm doing a show from having electrolytes off.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of salt in the off when I'm dieting it in the off season too. So, but I mean,
mid-off
could be anything.
Mid-off season, I can train them. It's like as long as I have a good amount of body fat on, I'm good to go training them, right?
Really, mine still mess up.
It's hard for me to even put on, so it's like pretty much year round it happens.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Except for when you're trying to gain weight.
So when you are trying to gain weight and you're going through and like you're eating a lot, how do you manage that? Like I got to the point where I was literally like gagging my food down. This was like last only like a couple of weeks ago. And it takes me like 40 minutes to eat one friggin' meal because like and I'm just like feel like crap. And then once you feel a little bit better, you have to eat again. Just like
That's pretty much me. I go through a thing where I'll get up to like 205, 203, 205, and then my appetite will just be shot. I won't even be able to get food in at all, and I'll drop back down to 197.
that's
Do
where I'm at
like
right now, right? I'm doing
last
that.
off season. I did that for like months. I was in between there for months.
Yeah.
My appetite would just go. I could not eat at all, and it's been happening for years. So this time I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm probably gonna have to introduce like mass gainers or something. It's the only way I'm gonna be able to.
That's what I was thinking. Plug for mutant mass. We'll get on this. We'll get on some of that. I will anyway. But
Yeah, I use the BioX mask.
there you go. Nothing wrong with
Are you
either one of them.
Yeah,
Are you hungry yet, Josh? You getting hungry since your
Yeah,
calorie
I
cut?
actually am. So
Oh, yeah.
I've had this problem for like a couple months now, just like you're saying. So Devin, coach, he's cutting me down to back. I hit 200. That's big for me. So now he's cutting me back down to about like 186 or so, getting me hungry again. And then we're gonna ride that out and then hit the food hard
Speed the
again.
yeah, speed the
Yeah.
metabolism up again, get you hungry again, and then try to catch a little rebound too off it.
Yeah, and we'll start some new supplements and see what happens.
I feel like that's what I need, but like, man, I've tried that in the past, and it's like I always that block around 205.
Mm.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
A lot of guys mess around with insulin when that happens. Not saying that anybody should, but
Nope, I will never touch insulin. I'm too scatterbrained. I'm too scatterbrained in general. I just don't trust myself.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. That stuff freaks me out a bit.
Yeah.
Just carry around some gummy bears in your pocket and
yeah,
feel good.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I mean, I don't have a choice. I got to get the food in now. If I got to blend it, it got to go in now.
Yeah.
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 It's like, I think Rowan said this to me. Every show now is like, it stays. How I do in this show is on my record now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
before it was like, I keep track. Only I'm keeping track of this record. Now, the IFBB Pro League's keeping track, and you can look. And
Oh, we can go back in time. Like it's all there.
Yeah.
And follow you along.
And like your name, if I go to my pro debut and I suck, and then I go to my next show and I suck, then I go to my next show and I suck, then I'm just out of the conversation altogether.
Right.
So now I'm like, okay, I got to make a statement.
You got to make
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good decision taking a year and a half off or more even. I think that's a good idea. Go in and make a statement in your first show.
Yeah, I want to get my first. I want to kind of do probably 3 shows that in 2026 and try to get top. If I can get top 5 in all 3, that'd be amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
that'd
cool.
be awesome. Well, Toronto Pro's in June every year, so
I think it's Toronto, Vancouver, and then one overseas somewhere.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be just fun, right? Just overseas, go somewhere, do something a little different. Be fun.
Yeah.
And I'm only thinking Toronto and Vancouver because I'm here in Canada.
Yeah.
Once I actually take my time to look at the list, I might pick something completely different.
Yeah.
Does the IFBB help you out with expenses, like to get to these shows?
I know some shows do, but I'm not sure all of them do. But I know we don't have to pay registration for the shows. I'm pretty sure it's what it is.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's got to pay
Or
for
tan.
it.
Probably your
Pardon?
spray tan is all paid for too, is it?
Oh, I'm not sure about the spray tan, but most likely, yeah.
Probably Joe would pay for that.
I know we just pay for our yearly membership, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the show is paid for. We just pay for our yearly membership, which is gonna save me a shit ton.
Oh, that's a huge incentive to
Yeah, right.
keep pushing for that.
So what do you have to do now to qualify for a show like the Olympia or the Arnold Classic? Like, how does that? Is it a point system?
No, you have to win a show now. There used to be a point system. You took it away. So you have to win. You have to just win a pro show. If you win, you're qualified.
So first place gets you qualified.
First place gets you a qualification.
Okay.
Which
And the Arnold is an invitational one.
I feel like they need to pull some of the qualified shows that for men's physique guys away, because there's always like 80 guys.
There's so many. Yeah.
They feel like there need to be like 20 shows, even 15, that are like, okay, you got to win or become top 5 on one of these shows in order to qualify for the Olympia. There's 80 guys on stage. It's like, so many of those guys are probably great, but that don't ever get a look.
Yeah.
Because they don't have popular names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah, it's unfair for some of them that are very talented that get overlooked just because maybe they don't participate a lot online or social media or
Exactly.
Or like, yeah.
Because there's no doubt in my mind that if there's 80 guys, if there's like 60 guys in this show, and the top 2 call-outs are all guys that are popular on social media and stuff, it's like, you definitely overlook somebody.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
There's no way around it, right? So I guess I got to get popular on social media.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Your videos are good. Yeah. I like your videos. Yeah.
I'm trying to switch it up. I'm trying to be more, trying to show more of myself on there now.
Yeah.
It's hard to do
your personality.
stuff, man.
Do you all your videos yourself, like editing and record? Yeah, that's a lot of time too, right? It's a big time commitment to throw make a good video.
Are you on TikTok too, Mason?
I am. I honestly just repurposed my Instagram Reels to TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was doing too.
So what's your Instagram? So people want to follow you.
Like TikTok, I was gonna do like vlogs where I'm just like turning the mic on while I'm working out and just talking to the camera. But like every time I do it, I end up not talking to the camera because I'm into my workout.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell everyone your Instagram.
Yeah, what's your Instagram? People want to.
Mr. Built by Game. GAME, game, not gains. Everyone always.
All one word? Yeah, of course. Like no like
Built by
underscore stuff. Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get into something if you don't mind. We met up a week or two ago, chatting in the locker room. You told me something that I felt that was really interesting that I think some people might kind of connect with. If you want to get into that, that's cool. If not, we don't have to.
Yeah, we can. I knew you were going to bring that up. I'm like,
yeah, you're like, this is why I didn't want to talk about it.
I don't know what to say. It's hard to like I was telling you, it's hard to like pinpoint it. But like when I won, when I got the pro card, it was almost like I went into like, I don't want to say depression, but it was like a slump where like I didn't know what was next. So,
Right.
like that October and like November, it was kind of like in limbo. Like, what's my plan gonna be? I wasn't locked in as you think I would be, or excited as you think I would be. Like, it was more like I was like lost.
Like you said before, imagine having a goal in your head at 12 years old, and you've been working for a decade or two to get this goal, and then you achieve it.
Yeah, that's
now
like I hit the end of the road, right?
Yeah.
Right. You're like,
what I realized is, as soon as I won it, I realized it was the journey I was in love with, not actually the goal, right? And for some reason, I internalized it as the journey was over, not realizing that a new one just began, right? So I was like in my head with that a lot for like those 2 months. I was really in my head, like, what's next? Do I even want to compete as a pro? Did I just want to get my pro card? Yeah. And it honestly, it just took me just kind of like telling myself to stop thinking about it.
right.
You're a pro now. Your coach is going to talk to you and we're going to figure out what's next. Just enjoy your life. Enjoy it. So I just kind of started living and then got over it. But
did you step away from training and like social media a little bit during that?
I stepped away from social media for sure. A little bit. Like before I was posting like 5 days a week. I probably post once or twice now. Just because trying to lean more into life so that I don't get in my head, right? But that's what helped is leaning away, I felt like I had to be in people's faces when I won the pro card, or I wasn't going to capitalize on the fact that I just became a pro. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But trying to do that while dealing with the fact that I feel like I was at the end of the road because I just accomplished this big goal and I didn't know what was next. It was just messing with me. So I kind of just had to take a step back and just let it come as it goes. Let it come as it comes.
Yeah.
Right.
So, do you have that mentality now? Like, is your mindset like? Do you have the mindset of like, I'm starting a new journey into the pros?
Yeah. I have the mindset now where, honestly, I don't want to say it was easy because it sounds arrogant, but I haven't really had to push myself to like actually. Because right now, if I step on stage, I'm going to be at the bottom, right? I haven't really felt that.
Right.
I haven't felt that I'm at the bottom and I have to prove myself because all the amateur shows I went into, I always felt like I was the guy everyone was expecting to win.
Yeah, you're the one to beat, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I do feel like I'm starting a new journey, and I feel like it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
I'm actually really challenging myself now.
The underdog now.
Yeah, I got to keep my appetite and get over 205.
Well, we're excited to watch it.
So Mason, do you have a regular job too, or is it now just a professional bodybuilder? Which is
I guess you could say I'm a professional bodybuilder because my regular job is online coaching.
Yeah.
It's been since since like late 2020 when after I was at World Gym when everything closed down. I went back to World Gym and he told me I couldn't do online because I started online when everything closed. I went back to World Gym. He told me I couldn't do online and work at World Gym, so I left and been doing online since.
Wow.
Awesome.
I have like the odd. I bounce every other weekend, and I have like a delivery job for my buddy who has a meal prep company that I help him out like a couple times a month. But other than that, it's all online.
So lots of time for training, meeting,
and what's crazy? I used to like be like a big ball of stress, and someone said to me one time, he's like, "You do realize another online coach? You do realize we're full-time bodybuilders, right? We're just living our dream." And I was like, oh, shit. Yeah. The thing I'm stressing about trying to achieve, I'm doing it.
Right.
Yeah. I looked at it that way before. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I trade you in a heartbeat, just so you know.
Oh yeah, man, me too.
Sometimes I'm like I see my buddies that like work on labor jobs or like have construction companies and stuff, and I'm like, would I trade? Sometimes I just want to go to work and come home and not have to think about nothing.
Right. So like
I feel like my brain's always on. If I pick my phone up, I'm like, client message me, gotta put this back down. It's not work time, but you know what I mean? It's hard.
Yeah.
Being an online trainer, you're pretty much on 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
People are like going to bed and asking you nutrition questions before sleeping. Should I eat this? Do I have to take this? What can I do? And people expect you to answer, which is sorry, Devin. People expect you to answer all the time. I do it to Devin. I don't know.
I set like strict guidelines now where it's like after 7 p.m. I can't be answering any messages. First thing in the morning I'll answer you, and then up until 7 p.m. you can message me anything you want. But otherwise, you'll message me something and I'll end up coming back in here and I'll be on this computer till like 1 a.m.
Right.
Yeah. You have to set boundaries like that though. You have to, or you go crazy.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to figure that out. Like I've been coaching since 09, I think. 08, 09, and I would just be on my phone 24 hours a day.
And I still find myself
middle of the night. And then I had to set boundaries times. Yeah.
I still find myself every once in a while I'll slip back into it where I'm like, oh, I worked till like freaking 12 every day this week because I didn't want to put the phone down. And then I gotta like recenter myself and like you gotta set boundaries, bro.
Yeah. Have to.
Yeah. You've been coaching since 09 though. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm getting up there in age. I started training in 03 and competing in 05.
Okay.
And then I started coaching around 09. Yeah.
I feel like a freaking noob.
But full time just coaching, I started January 2020. I quit my full-time job and just
I remember that.
I feel like most of us became full-time
5
online
years ago.
2020 created a lot of full-time online coaches.
Yeah. Everyone's home now, working
It
online.
forced people into it that like people realized that they could do it full time, right? No one was willing to take the risk until it was the only option.
Where did most of your clients come from? Are they mostly like health and lifestyle competitors, or are they like from around here, or are they like all over?
Most of them are from around here, and it's mostly lifestyle. I focus a lot on like parents and people that are busy or managers or own businesses. I try to focus on parents and like business owners, but I find they have a lot of the same issues, a lot of the same problems they need solved. Right? They're busy. They don't have time. They need things on the go. They need things to be convenient. They can't be in the gym 6 days, 5 days a week. They need less sometimes, right? So
Right.
I
Yeah.
find that's who my clientele tends to be for the most part.
Interesting. That's cool.
That's smart.
And like you said, you have like a family of your own too, right?
I do.
So how do you balance that lifestyle and like family and training and
So it's a little easier for me because my kids aren't with me full time. They're with me on weekends. So my rule is grind through the week, make sure I get everything done so that when I'm with them, I don't gotta be doing this.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
No, that's great.
It's a lot easier for me to balance until sports season comes back in, football and soccer, and then it's like I just got to make sure I have everything done throughout the day, and then I'm good to go. It's honestly easy. It's way easier to balance than people make it seem. You just plan it out and you follow the plan. Same as I tell my clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
How
another
old are
form
your-
of prep, right? You just gotta.
Exactly.
Do you
That doesn't-
have one kid? You have a son, right?
I have 9-year-old twins, boy and a girl,
Oh,
and
really?
I have an 11-year-old boy.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got
Twins.
when I got twins. I had the boy and the girl as twins. I got the girl, and I was like, "Cool, I'm good."
Yeah.
Definitely don't want to risk another girl. The scariest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I had twins too, a boy and a girl. Mine are
Crazy.
24 now. So yeah, I know where you're coming from. I
Right?
did all the shows with all that too.
Right. Yeah. Jamie
A lot of
too.
jump.
I remember,
You gotta manage your time through that.
remember my first 3 years competing. It was like always a summer prep or like a spring summer prep. And then I realized I realized that's why I took the year off. I take the kids to the park or something, but like I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't there, and I was like, I didn't realize until after I decided I needed to take time. I was like, holy crap, I was not there for 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then I really locked into like being there. It's funny because I was like, okay, my main focus is them, not bodybuilding. But my bodybuilding got better. I grew, I got better just because I was so focused on them that I just wanted that everything else just fell in line, right?
Right.
In order to be a good dad, you got to make sure that you're your best self. So everything else just fell in line.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I used to be like that too. I have a 12-year-old son, and there was lots of years when I used to compete. I retired now like 7 years ago, but when I used to compete, there was lots of preps I wasn't there for him. Like it was just focused on the show.
Yeah.
But then after a while, we got a lot closer, and then I was there for him, and then yeah, I found the same thing happened. It's true.
It's funny because I always say that to people who like go into bodybuilding. Like, if you ask them what their hobbies are, they don't have any. I used to be that person.
Yep.
I mean, my hobbies still revolve around fitness, but it's still I'm not just a bodybuilder now. I'm a dad. I love doing things with kids, things like that. Before it was just bodybuilding. But I wasn't happy, and I thought I was because I love bodybuilding, so I thought I was happy, right?
Yeah. That was my first addiction. Was bodybuilding. First of
I
many.
guess I could see that. That makes sense.
I have a very addictive personality, so that was my first. That was my first addiction I went through, and
It was my first, and then it was the one that saved me from the others as well.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of getting at now.
Yeah, it kind of pulled me back. So funny how that happened.
Cool.
How has bodybuilding affected your relationships with women?
Good question. That's a great question. Up until now, terribly.
Yeah.
Usually how it goes.
I never make it out of a prep in that relationship.
He's like, yours.
And even the
That
ones
sounds
I
about
did,
right.
even the ones I did, I ended up ending after the prep because
Yeah.
I just lost all interest throughout the prep, right? But my last one, the person I'm with now is great.
Pretty
We made
solid,
it
right?
through
Okay.
both preps, no, not a problem. We moved in here together. She's a great
Nice.
stepmom. Like, I think honestly, I think the stepping away from the bodybuilding and focusing on life, we can worked out in the major, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause a lot of people that aren't in the sport don't understand, will never understand. And then even some, yeah.
You know, I know
So,
it's crazy. I used to be the guy I used to say to people all the time, I don't want to date another bodybuilder, right? I
right.
don't want to date someone that did this before, and that's why nothing worked because they didn't understand. And
Yeah, they don't get it.
the girl I'm with now competed before, so she understands. But it was like years ago, right? But she understands.
She's still,
So
yeah.
I always say to people, I always used to say, you don't want to date a competitor because it's just not going to work. But I have a different mindset now. I feel like you need to find someone that either did or does that understands. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Unless they're just that awesome.
Right.
Especially if you're young. If you're older, it's different. You're more mature. People that respect you. You know what I mean? You have a way different outlook on life. But if you're young, you're trying to date someone that's not into bodybuilding. Your life revolves around it.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Did they ever complain about you spending too much time at the gym? Or like, why do you gotta...
And it goes both ways, right? Male or female.
Yep.
If
Oh, for
you're young,
100%.
you're not going to fully respect that your life revolves around this thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Do you have to go to the gym right now? Yeah. Do you like? It's like, why don't we ever go out and eat pizza? Let's just go out with my friends. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
I'd go out. I'd be like, I'll go out, but I'm gonna bring my bag.
Exactly.
Tupperware.
Yeah.
I'm out at like freaking comedy night, eating freaking out of my Tupperware.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to do it, man.
Yeah.
We've all been
I'm the one that brings extra
That's
chicken
it.
breast in my
Totally.
pocket. Pull it out, and put it on top of your, on top of your salad that you've ordered.
Or at the movie theater, pull your chicken breast in your pocket.
Oh, 100%. They're like,
No.
people around you are like, what does that
Oh,
smell?
I'm gonna eat. If I'm going to the movies, I'm probably gonna get the nachos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least
I'm
do
gonna get
that.
popcorn when I go too. Yeah.
There's no
That's one.
chicken breast.
That's one that I draw. That's where I draw the line. The movies. No, I'm drawing.
We'll do the extra cardio.
Yeah.
Josh is super dedicated. So,
Broccoli, yeah, the broccoli smell is strong with that one.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm way more lenient now, though. I'm way more lenient with myself now, though. Like I follow my meal plan to a T, but like, the girlfriend wants to go out and eat, I'm gonna go out and eat. Friend wants to go to lunch or something, I'm gonna go. Life's too short to like not have one.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely
I
agree.
think that's what honestly played a big part in my
And that takes the
success.
stress away, right? And that makes just things
exactly.
a little bit happier.
How long do you generally diet for? Like, are you a 4-month guy or 3?
This was my first. This was a 14-week prep.
Okay.
Yeah, 14. But usually my previous preps it was 10 or less weeks.
Nice,
That
pretty
helps.
quick.
So I usually stay so lean year round, right? Yeah. But hopefully we can change that and actually have a full freaking long prep.
Nice.
Yeah.
I find the short preps there's less room for troubleshooting if something goes wrong.
That's true.
Yeah.
But but every time you do it, you get to know yourself a little bit better, especially if you're with the same coach. Things will become a bit easier and easier.
It's gonna be the first time I stuck with the coach for a full season and then full off season. So it's gonna be fun to see what we can do in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what is to come. Before we go, I always like to pop up your Instagram.
Awesome.
Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah, so I always like to pop up and go through a couple little things. I find them pretty amusing.
My content's been
So,
I haven't been putting as much into it lately, but let's do it.
but like, yeah, you have a lot of good stuff, a lot of information, right? You have like your meals, like you're always cooking something. What's up with the pineapple there? I like that.
Man, I love pineapple.
Pineapple's good. Pineapple's good.
Coach is like, I want berries in this meal. I'm like, can I swap it with pineapple? Every time.
That picture, where is
Oh,
that?
you're huge.
Whoa,
I know, right?
that's
What do you say
that's
you weigh?
cool there.
200
Holy
something?
shit.
That's when I hit 205, and then right after that, I lost my appetite.
But you're still kind of lean in that. I was expecting 205, like fluffy.
Yeah.
But that's not a
Your
fluffy.
muscle bellies are so fucking full, man. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
That's incredible. Holy.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
good look.
wild.
But the goal is for us to stay relatively just as lean and get up to 220.
Like you
But
still got
obviously-
striations in your shoulders.
Oh yeah.
With
Yeah.
that.
That's it.
Yeah. That would look nuts at 220. 15 more pounds on that
frame.
on that frame and that conditioning. Wow.
Yeah.
That would be
My
something.
thing is, I put on a lot of weight staying lean, which is kind of scary that, like, once I do get up there, it's going to be hard to get down to that 192 weight cap, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That yeah.
I'm putting on the lean tissue, so I'm putting on the weight so lean. It's going to be a bitch to get off, right? But
So, like,
that's big.
There's a guy
That's,
here.
that's really big. 192 at 5'7".
Yeah.
Like that's huge, man. Especially for physique.
Like that's a crazy back. Look at that.
Depth in
Yeah.
the
I'm
lower
pretty
back.
sure that's AI. I don't think that's real.
Yeah, that's a filter.
My back's definitely the one thing I find is the only body part that doesn't need work.
Right. So this is like 2020.
Yeah. I think it switches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To 2024.
Was that the Atlantics or that was Nationals there?
That's the pro.
That was
2020.
Your avocado shorts.
It's crazy.
You look like you could do classic physique.
Yeah.
I mean,
You ever
we
thought
were
about
talking, we were talking about it, about we were taking the year off, trying to bring the legs up. But at the same time, man, I spent so many years working out to look good in a V-neck. And now I'm like at the point where it's like, if I'm going to do classic, I almost would have to like not train upper body and just train, because I'd have to bring my upper body down a little because my legs aren't going to come up enough.
Right.
Because
So then I'm like,
Yes.
What's
then I wouldn't be
what's the
so
weight
your
class?
weight cap? Your weight cap in the pros for classic would be in the 200s, though, right?
Now
That's true.
5'7". Would it be?
I'm pretty sure it would be, because if I'm 190, if it's 192, I think it's 192 now. In men's physique, it would be probably.
Yeah, it'd be around 200 probably. Yeah.
Well, I thought Greg Doucette said he was
All that
coming
weight,
around.
all that weight would have to go on my legs right now.
Right. Yeah.
Which
Jeez,
I'm not
nuts.
against, but also training since
huge.
12 at 36. Am I going to be able to put that kind of size on my legs right now? Without
Yeah,
more
that's
stuff,
that's true.
stuff I don't want to do.
Yeah,
Insulin.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, now I messed it up. This is gonna take. I gotta figure this out. No, that's not it.
You just closed it.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of my screen share. Nope. Shit. This is what
God
editing is
damn
for.
We're about to see your grinder account here or something, aren't we?
Yeah.
Andy, you're my only friend on there.
That's true. We match.
All right, how do I get the hell out of this? I
Like
struggle
me
with
when I'm
this
on
every single time.
happens to me on Zoom calls all the time, trying to share my screen and then get it off.
There we go. Mm. Awesome. Oh,
So who else?
Any,
Anyone stepping on stage this year?
what's that? Sorry.
yep.
I'm going up
I'm
to
not.
Toronto.
What
I'm
show?
off to Toronto soon again. What
This
about you,
guy's
Josh?
this guy's doing a few.
I have a plan, and the plan's Halifax, Canadian Nationals, and then Olympia, and then retire, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I did Arnold's, and I want to do Olympia, and then
You did everything.
When's the Olympia,
Yeah.
Josh?
what's that?
When's the Olympia? Is that November, October?
Uh,
I don't know.
like November.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
November.
It's like second week in November usually.
No,
So-
maybe I'll do the
I'd love to do.
Toronto and do the Olympia with you.
You can. That would be that'd be so fun.
I'd love to
Wouldn't
get
it?
good enough placings in my shows in 2026 that I can apply. Hopefully, get an Arnold invite.
Oh,
That'd be
that would be
that'd
sick.
good.
It's
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's like goosebumps right now thinking about it. Like it's unbelievable. Even though like I did the amateur show, but it's still the same stage. You
It's
still
still,
step
yeah,
in
I'm saying
on.
the same stage, it's the same environment.
You still have competitors from all over the world you're going up against, right?
That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to like competing with people all over the world, not just
Not
here.
just the same 5 people every time. Right?
Yeah, it's gonna be like so used to doing shows and like knowing everybody that's doing the show and knowing who's good and like I already know who's gonna be there. But
Yeah.
like doing these shows and not having a clue who's going to show up, like
It's a little different, right?
exciting.
Like the
Like the
national.
guys I've been watching on YouTube for the last couple of years, I might be on right beside. Kind of cool.
Right, yeah, totally. Yeah. Seeing
Yeah.
Yeah.
you'd see people like your people that you've looked up to backstage, right? Like for like a long time.
Your prep and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start documenting stuff more too on YouTube.
Yeah.
One thing
like
I
the-
did, one
the
thing I
road
haven't done,
to-
I feel like I need to lock in on right away.
So
Are you in Halifax?
Yeah, just off
Yeah,
Fall
okay.
River Way, actually. But yeah,
So where do you train?
FX or Good Life,
Okay.
or sometimes I'll grab the girlfriend's Fit for Less and go there if I'm short on time. But mostly FX.
yeah.
I train the odd person at FX too, so it just makes sense to train there.
Okay, yeah. It's a great gym.
It is.
I would go there a lot more if I didn't live so far away from it. So, but
Yeah, recently I've been definitely in Good Life a few times a week because like I said, I'm way up Fall River Way. It's like a
yeah, that's far
20
away too.
drive every day, and I'm like, that's 50 minutes out of my day, a whole hour out of my day just to get there and back. And I get there, I don't go right in. I'll probably sit in the car for a second, and then I'll probably come out, especially after legs, sit in the car until I'm able to drive again. And it's like, or
Right.
what could have been an hour, or what could have been an hour and a half to 2.5 hours turns out being like a 4-hour excursion.
4 hour a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for training. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Do you do personal training too, along with the online coaching?
I do personal training too, but not as much. Like right now,
Yeah.
in terms of personal training, a lot of the times it's just my current clients coming in, my online clients
Yeah.
coming in when they need to touch up stuff.
That's what I do. That's what I do too. Yeah. I don't do
Yeah.
like separate personal training thing.
I was
Just
trying to
to-
lean back into the in-person thing, but then it just took away from the online, and it's
Yeah.
That's
one of those
fine.
things. You got to pick your path.
Right. I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. And so
Definitely admire guys that can manage both and be busy in both, because
Yeah.
they definitely do conflict with each other a lot,
right.
especially on a marketing standpoint, where it's like you want to get online clients because that's your business, but if you're doing in person, you also have to market that. But then people think you don't do
it's a hard thing to juggle, I guess.
It is.
And like and you want to give 100% to both sides, and you can't. It's hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah.
So, do you train your legs at all?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
That was the best question, and the way he said it. No, I do.
I wanted to ask
train
that the whole,
I train legs
whole time.
That's funny. I train them pretty hard, man, but man, they don't grow. Like when I'm putting on weight, like as I'm going up, they start growing. But it's like whenever I do lose my appetite and lose those like 5-7 pounds, it's like it comes right off my leg, nowhere else.
Interesting.
Yeah, it sucks.
Huh?
Yeah.
So
Like,
if you were to diet
my last
down,
one
they'd
was
probably
I took
come
the
off your
years off.
legs.
Pardon?
If you were to diet down for a show, then it would probably come off your legs.
That's what I was about to
the
say. Like
size.
2 years.
Yeah.
The 2 years that I took off, my legs grew, and they like, I was at the point where I was like, do I want to do men's physique and classic? But I knew as soon as I started to diet, they were going to be gone, and they were.
Yeah.
What's your
I have to
cardio
grow
like
them.
then?
Maintain them
Are you
for-
like killing the stair mill? Are you like just over training them? Like, are you like over?
Honestly, I just think it's.
Or is it genetic thing?
I neglected them for so many
Genetics.
years that I feel like it's always just fresh tissue I'm putting on them, and then I'm going right into a diet right after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd have to put the tissue on, and then I'd have to hold it for
Have to
at
sit
least
for a
a
while.
little bit over a year, just to make sure it stays right.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it on and cutting every time. But I mean, now even in men's physique, they consider legs, right?
They are.
pay
Yeah.
how your legs fit.
Yeah.
So
The
it's
shorts are
gonna-
a lot higher now too. Yeah.
it's going to be something I'm going to have to figure out. I don't know if it's an overtraining thing. I'm thinking of maybe if I did have less volume, maybe it would hold better.
But like, can you handle less volume and like heavier weight? Is your like your knees and hips and stuff okay? You push that
Yeah.
way.
For the most part. My thing, I'm definitely over the last couple of years, I've leaned into less volume anyway. That's honestly how I grew so well over the last couple of years. I just think that legs just need to be a priority in my programming at this point. I don't feel like I'm going to lose my upper body by taking a back seat a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
you'll be
when I get on that pro
fine.
stage, even as men's physique, if my legs aren't up to par, it's going to affect my placing, right?
Yeah, because like they're making the shorts are higher a little bit, and then they want those shorts filled out too now, right? They don't
Exactly.
want the big kites hanging from your hips.
Like even my national posing trunks, like about 8 weeks out, I was wearing them, and they were like filled out good, and I was like, yes.
Cool.
And then on stage, they're like filled out, but not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right. You're like, fuck, what happened?
and I was only doing 30 minutes cardio too, so it's like it's not like I freaking walked off the freaking.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's kind of interesting too, kind of exciting. It's just like something new to figure out. So another challenge to going into your pro debut.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna make all the changes stick this time. Have no choice. I'm excited for it. Yeah. I can say that now with confidence that I'm excited for it. I couldn't say that a month ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's good. You're in that mental space now, though.
Yeah.
And just curious, like with your training and like legs, back, arms, whatever. When you say you moved into like a lower rep range, so are you going for like, 1 or 2 working sets per exercise and like maybe like 8 to 10 rep range or 8 to 12? What's your?
It varies. It varies based on like what I'm training, but ideally it's like that 8 to 15 somewhere in there. 8 to 15, 2 working sets, back off. That's
And like a
pretty much
back off set or like a rest pause or something like towards like your last set.
I have a lot of rest. I do actually do some rest pauses with my push days. A lot of tempo work with lower body. A lot of tempo
Interesting.
work.
Like a slow negative, fast push, like slows, and then like
slow negative. Sometimes banded leg press, slow negative. Just keep a constant tension on them, right? but what I find is I don't recover fast enough from it to
From
hit
like the tempo
it hard.
stuff.
So it's like every second leg day is good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you have to pull back a little bit.
Yeah, that could be a thing too.
And it could be honestly, it could be an age thing too, because it's like I feel refreshed. My legs aren't sore, but my joints can't handle it every like second leg day, right? So it's like every second or third leg day is really good, and then it's like two okay ones, and then a really good one, and then two.
I
Yeah.
kind of get that too. Yeah, they're not all 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't even think it's a recovery thing. I think it's honestly just the joint's been beat up for too many years thing.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, yeah, no.
But
I'm
I
just
need to
wondering
figure
if
it
there's
out. I need every leg day to be good if I'm gonna fill these shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you say you barely train arms. Like that's just a like. What's like?
I'm hitting-
I struggle in the arm department, and I'm just like, I always pick everyone's brain trying to like, how the fuck do I get these things to
I think I'm
get
doing
better?
five sets for biceps, 5 sets for triceps a week. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and that's it for you, eh?
I feel like it's too much.
Yeah, you got like Lee Priest arms.
And my shoulders are finally like matching up, but for a long time they weren't, man.
I mean,
For a long time they weren't. I had to actually stop training arms for like 6 months in order to get my shoulders. But I had to start again because
right.
my other lifts were affected because I wasn't training arms.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
What do those arms measure anyway?
I don't know.
Where's your measuring tape?
Bedside table. Bedside table.
Everybody knows that.
Probably in the bathroom, honestly. I wonder.
I don't do that. I'd either be really sad for a long time, or I'd just be angry. I don't know.
I
Just avoid it.
take a weight during prep when my legs started getting small.
Right.
I was like, nope, can't have this negativity in my life.
Yeah.
Always the legs, man.
Yeah. All right. On that note, I don't know. That's it for me, guys. I don't know if you have any more. You guys have any more questions for the new
great.
IFBB Pro?
Thanks a lot. Congratulations again.
I have a question.
Yeah. Shoot.
How many shows does everyone have under their belt?
Jamie, you want to go?
35, I think. Josh keeps track more than I do. 35, I think.
I think you hit your 35th show. Your last one was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm 51, so I've been doing this since I was 18.
And he's got more planned too.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to do the Toronto Pro again, and then Josh, that was what I was thinking before that too.
Yeah.
Like Pittsburgh or but now you put that in kind of in my head.
It's come with us. It's going to be fun.
So
that's a lot of shows, Jamie. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, I'm a sucker.
You'll be at 40 soon.
Yeah.
I only did 11 shows. I retired at 33. I retired early from the sport.
It took me longer to win some. So once I got the feeling of winning, I just kind of keep going.
Yeah.
But the thing with Jamie is he's still getting better.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, last year was his best year.
Probably,
really.
Yeah, last year
Crazy.
was his best looking year yet.
Your last shows were amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, the Atlantics and the Toronto were good. PEI was the starter. It was just kind of like a jump in to qualify for Toronto, and then we just kind of rolling on after that.
I feel like that's one of the things I got to take into account. Like they just said, you're still getting better, and I'm like trying to put a limit on myself. Like, well, you got to stop before you.
Mason, I stopped that long. I retired at 35. I retired at 40, 45. I stopped saying it. And just whenever you feel like you had enough of it, that's when you'll know when you have enough. I didn't have enough. I don't know. My preps get easier. My headspace is perfect. Like everything is just kind of clicking, and I treat the show that it's just I got an off season, and you just kind of can't wait. And I try doing what Josh and you were doing, gaining, and I still keep trying to do all that. Put the time in with the food, and get to a certain point where I can't eat no more. I think last time we got up to about 216, 217, and it was just a pig.
It was.
They
It was.
couldn't
Yeah.
breathe, just trying to push hard. This time I tried to go up and it just didn't go up. I only went up to 196 or so, and it just kind of hovered. I couldn't push ahead. My appetite was bad, so our little push, we just kind of shut it down and said reset, and we'll start again. Just nothing was happening. I don't know what it was, whether it was the supplements weren't very good or anyway. So I do the same thing as you, and I'm 13 years older than you. So I'm still at this doing the same thing. I wouldn't put a limit on your time, and you'll know when it is. Same as Josh. He says retire.
Yeah.
Maybe, if you're still and you still love it and you're still progressing,
I don't see you retiring.
Because getting older.
Yeah.
But
I needed that.
we're not.
Thanks.
How old are the guys that are winning the Olympia in men's physique? Like, how are they older or are they around your age?
I say they're around my age, 36-ish, 35, 36-ish. Yeah, around my age.
It usually takes that much time to get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
The mature stuff starts happening.
Yeah.
I think I'm not gonna feel like I'm done until I do try to go up to a different category. To be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like if I stay in men's physique, I'm never gonna feel done.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I've been playing with in my head too. I'm like, do I do a season in men's physique and then take time off, or do I just keep trying to grow year after year without time off? But my physique, I feel like I'm wasting my physique not showing it, not being able to display it properly. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. You have more to offer. You feel like you have more to offer than what you're showing right now.
Yeah. I definitely do. So they have to check-ins tomorrow morning, and I might have an interest in check-in.
You knew what you got in 2 years. 2 years off again after this little push into their pro season, and see what you want to get that muscle to hold. Maybe you need a couple more years and then go again.
True.
Classic.
Still getting better. I don't know why I put this 40-year-old cap on myself when improving. Weird number to just be like, oh, I'm done at 40.
A goal, maybe it's like it just gave you a goal to push hard towards.
Yeah, kind of what
once you get there, move it over.
I know. Sorry, Dev, go ahead.
Are they switching masters back to 40?
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Yeah, they are.
Pro card is only for 40 now, so
I might make a comeback then. I'll be 40. I'll be 40 in a few months. So.
Well,
I heard grapevine you were going to do classic physique, but I just hearsay.
You want to know what's crazy? Remember I said I wasn't going to do nationals. If I didn't do nationals, I wouldn't have been able to get my pro card in masters because they changed it again.
Right.
Yeah.
That was just 1 year, right? It was only that 1 year.
So I would be so pissed.
Yeah. That worked out good. Holy shit. Yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, there's also a chance, there is a slight chance that I could get mine when I go to nationals.
Yes.
For masters, right? But then I won't be going to. I wouldn't be competing in Olympia then. I just go watch.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well. There's a chance, right? There's
more important than just competing in the right.
Right, yeah. There is a chance.
Once you get it, it's always the following year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're not retiring. like you say you were.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No.
But
I mean, if you were all broke up and everything was falling apart, then maybe it's time to retire. But I had more aches and pains in my 40s than I ever thought about having in my now.
Right.
My elbows always pain, shoulders always pain, knees always pain, and not in my 40s. Sorry, in my 30s. And when I hit 40, I kind of backed off on the heavy training, and just with more room, and it's just everything seemed to get better. Although I did tear.
You did tear both biceps or triceps.
Yeah.
But that was tight and dry at the end of the shows. Yeah. Anyway.
That's what I'm always scared of. I think I've only ever tore one thing. And I didn't even realize because it was in my delinquent days, my bicep.
Your delinquent days.
Yeah, I didn't get checked out or anything, but now when you look at it, you probably can't see it from the camera, but there's a right here. It's like just a straight.
Oh yeah.
Gives you a nice peek.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you tear right off.
Didn't even get it checked out. Just went to the bar, had a couple shots, forgot about it. Until like a couple years ago, I'm posing and I'm like, oh yeah, I tore that before, didn't I?
Right.
I tore mine right off. Tricep too. Tricep was the worst. It was like someone tried to cut it off with an axe.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway.
That's rough.
Yeah.
It was
I never had to make my way back from an injury yet.
Yeah.
From a bad injury yet. Other than my like knees being terrible from when I was younger, but I'm lucky on that end.
Oh, I got a question for you, Mason. Are you completely sober now? Do you drink at all? Can you control it?
I mean, I'll have a beer on special occasions and stuff, but I really never go past like 2 beer. I don't think I went past 2 beer in 2 years.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's weird.
You can't really in this industry. The alcohol doesn't really go too good with it.
No. And my girlfriend doesn't drink now either, so it kind of helps, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be coming home. I don't want us to be going out and then me coming home drunk and being an asshole or idiot, even though I wouldn't, but I feel like an idiot because I'm drunk.
Feel yucky.
You know, I feel like everything I'm saying is wrong. Like,
yeah.
No, I'm good. And I just feel better. I like waking up in the morning without the headache, without the hangover.
Mm-hmm.
Like how often,
actually being in the moment when I'm with people and I'm out, rather than waking up tomorrow trying to remember the night. You know, I had too many of those.
And like if you're out partying, like especially now at this age, you're not going to the gym the next day, right? You're not.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you do, it's going to be horrible.
Oh yeah, definitely horrible.
So yeah.
Yeah,
it can burn through a lot of money too.
It's not worth it for me.
So how do you train, Andy, when you're in Mexico?
I train. I just do biceps. That's it.
No.
Andy goes to Mexico a lot.
I definitely would probably drink the whole time.
Some hammer
It doesn't count when you're in that country. It doesn't count. Tequila doesn't count.
No.
Do you, before we go, Andy, I think before you said you have a funny story about a turtle or something?
Oh yeah, the last time it wasn't the last time, it was the time before when I was down in Mexico. So we were staying at this resort that was like just off and the beach. They had sea turtles. So I thought, okay, well I'm gonna do a little bit of snorkeling, and I thought I'd go out and I wound up way out there looking for these sea turtles, and apparently they love bananas. So I put a banana in my pocket, literally a banana in my pocket, and I swam out and I saw one, this ginormous sea turtle swam underneath me, and then it kind of went into the abyss or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool, there it is, right? So I pulled the banana out of my pocket, and as soon as I did, I felt like a kid or something. I thought it was a little kid that I was getting tangled up with, like behind me. I turned around and there was this fucking huge sea turtle right there in my face. So I grabbed onto this thing and I was like trying to wrestle with it and water. Like I literally almost died wrestling the sea turtle because it wanted to turn its hands about it. Eventually I managed to toss it, but then I'm a big guy and I was sick, so I'm trying to swim back to shore with this little tiny pipe coming out of my face. I was seeing stars. I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna make it." So.
How big was the sea turtle? Was it like almost as big as you?
It was humongous. They're humongous down there. They're like as big as they're like humongous. It's like a rock. Like I grabbed onto this thing.
They're big as Mason's back.
I'm gonna move it out of the way, but it didn't move at all. Just I moved. Through the water. I was like, what in the hell? Anyway,
that's so scary. I would have just gave up.
Yeah, I would have. Would have been.
I saw this giant rock. So I was like, okay, if I can just make it to the rock, maybe I can get my head out of the water, stand up, and rip my mask off. And I just managed to get my mask off.
Another sea turtle you're standing on.
Yeah.
You're standing on another sea turtle.
Yeah. So fuck the turtles.
Moral of the story.
Yeah.
Just don't go with a fucking banana in your pocket.
Yeah, thank God that
Yeah,
thing didn't go for it
Yeah, I
like
thought
earlier.
when he said he put a banana in his pocket, I thought it was going a whole different way.
I was like,
Well,
oh
yeah,
God,
I
oh
think that's how
God.
they knew, right? The first one swam under me was like, that's a banana. There's no way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other one attacked me.
He
Did he
told
get the
he told his
banana?
buddy.
Or did you
Oh, he
just
was like,
save it?
that's
God. Well, I'm glad that you made it back. That was
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
terrifying.
it was dramatic. I was like messed up for like 2 days.
Yeah, that's really scary. You almost lost your life. That's nuts.
yeah, that would
Like
be.
literally, almost. Yeah. Like I thought I was going to die, literally, from a
Was
sea
it
turtle.
real?
And I remember thinking the irony of that. Like as I'm swimming
Yeah.
back, I was like, "This is how I'm gonna go." Really,
Yeah. A sea turtle.
the sea turtle got him.
So does that make
Oh.
you like appreciate life now? And now you're going to do another show? You're like, oh, I got to do more.
No, I'm going back to Mexico to take my revenge on the sea turtles. I'm actually going back to the same resort.
Good.
They're
You
getting,
just spent years training to go find that sea turtle.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's doing his cardio with a snorkel on. You're ready to go.
oh yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Awesome. All right, guys. I think we'll say goodnight on that one.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Mason.
Thank you guys for having me on. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of
Yeah.
fun, buddy. Come back anytime.
We'll be watching you.
All right, you guys have a great night. Don't forget to
All
like,
right.
subscribe, share, comment. If you
Follow
have
me
them.
on Go Game.
But yeah, sure. Do you have a before we go? Do you have a
Mr. Built by
separate?
Game on Instagram, TikTok,
Yeah.
Mason Mantell on Facebook, Mr. Built by Game on YouTube. I will be posting there soon.
If
I know I've been saying that for a while, but I will be posting there. And yeah, Mr. Built by Game. That's it.
and if people want to reach out for you coaching through Instagram,
They can reach out through Instagram, any of those portals, or builtbygame.fit is the website. Builtbygame.fit.
cool,
Okay.
awesome.
Awesome.
Send me those links, and I'll put it in the description of the video too. For
Okay,
the
I'll send them right
for
now.
the show.
So, thanks, guys.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot, man.
Thanks.
Thank you, bro.
You guys have a great night.